when
really?
it's too hot. Yeah, it's dying. My dying
Time for a new one.
All right, well, this week was a tough one for Dr. Conrad Murray. Prosecutors in the Jackson doctor trial raised questions about whether Murray was trying to save Michael Jackson or himself.
One of the witnesses was a paramedic who testified that at first he thought they had a good chance of saving Jackson's life. They'd gotten there 4 minutes after the 911 call. Dr. Murray told them he'd called them right away, but when the paramedics got a closer look at Michael Jackson, they knew it was too late. Another witness was a former heart patient. There's the paramedic there. He says Murray saved his life, but the patient then went on to say that Murray started missing appointments and said he felt, quote, abandoned by Murray.
All right. Well, joining us now to talk about the case, Anthony Falangetti, a former prosecutor, and criminal defense attorney Mark Haushalter. Thank you both for being here today. So this was this sort of the big bombshell? The paramedic, looking so trustworthy in his uniform, could have saved Jackson's life?
All I have to say is no moss, no moss, no moss for the defense. Right now, that paramedic, wow, with his uniform, the paramedic hat, I mean, that was powerful testimony that we heard. And he doesn't have a dog in the race, so he came off credible, no agenda, and that was really damaging for the defense.
So how does the prosecution, I mean, the defense, how does the prosecution go from there?
Well, I think the prosecution did what it had to do in the first week of trial. One, it pressed all the right emotional buttons and reminded the jury that there are family members who have lost someone they love.
Right.
And then two, they come in at the end of the week with a paramedic. Everybody believes in our firefighters. He's there in uniforms. He comes out and outright says, had he been there earlier, had he had better information from Conrad Murray, they could have saved him. Might be kind of speculative, that testimony, but nonetheless, the jury heard it.
And they didn't really do much to damage his credibility or refute that claim on cross-examination.
Well, I'm going to tell you, that missing of that objection, the defense was sleeping behind the wheel, okay? That one,
How is that possible?
I don't know.
I'm not even a lawyer. I wanted to object.
I don't know. Anthony and I looked at each other and we did we just hear that same question?
You think that was a strategic decision?
No, I think it was, they just wanted to get him off the stand and let's move forward.
So the visual was just too strong.
Yeah, the
cross-examination. Firefighter there with his hat on the stand.
The cross-examination by the defense really wasn't effective.
Minimal.
Minimal.
Yeah.
At that point, you need to just get that guy off the stand.
But there was some cross earlier where the one defense attorney said, isn't it true that even if you had told them that you gave him propofol, there was nothing else you could have done anyway, right? And then there was an objection to that, but he made his point.
Right, and I think that kind of sets up ultimately the defense strategy. Don't challenge a firefighter. Don't go down cross-examination fight. You can't win. Get him off the stand. Respond to him with experts.
Yeah.
Bring in your medical experts with a long list on their resume that makes them superstars, and then combat it.
Well, let me ask you this. Mark and I were talking about this a little bit last night. I think they can explain away a lot of he was picking up vials and he was putting things in a bag. But how do you think the defense is going to be able to explain the alleged lack of disclosing that he gave him propofol?
The prosecution loves that. That says a couple of things. One, it is rank incompetence.
Right, but I'm saying when it gets to the defense case, how are they going to explain
I'm
that?
hiding the propofol bottles, but I don't bother to tell anyone.
I have a thought, but I want to hear what your thoughts are.
I think from the defense standpoint, they want to say he's protecting Michael Jackson, his client. He's hoping he's going to live, but everybody knows you need to protect the privacy of your client. The last thing Michael Jackson or his family wants to come out is that he has a drug addiction to a serious narcotic like this or any others.
Meantime, speaking of narcotics, that laundry list of prescription drugs that he was taking and had actually ingested, it was in his blood, it was in his stomach. I mean, it was an incredible number. Diazepam, lorazepam, Valium, in addition to the propofol. And I've talked to an ER doc who told me, yeah, that's the part that makes this so hard in terms of trying to treat him and trying to distinguish who here is at fault.
Well, that may play into the defense's hands. Doctor saying, I didn't know all this stuff within his system, and he's trying to wean him off the drugs, and then he left the room. Michael Jackson, 100% okay, comes back, and then we're in this frantic situation. And the two things that we have to look at that defense is going to use is causation, what really killed Michael Jackson.
Right.
Was it self-induced overdose? When he was out of the room, he did himself, came back in, and then, oh my gosh, look what we have. And then that frantic scene that we heard from the bodyguard Alvarez, as well as from the paramedics. So the causation, and with Dr. Murray, he can't get impeached on what he saw when he first walked in, because Michael Jackson's passed away, and Dr. Murray was the only other person in the room. So if he takes a stand and testifies, he can't be impeached on what happened in that room.
Yeah, the $20 million question.
Is there any
Will
way?
he take the stand?
Yes, no, maybe. I'm going to wait and see how it goes.
Wait and see, but my gut feeling is I think he's going to have to.
Yeah.
I think
Conrad
it's
Murray's
just
going to be on the stand. If I'm the defense, I'm putting him on the stand. He's got no bad past to impeach him with. He's got to answer to his conduct, and he has to explain why he did what he did. I think we're almost guaranteed to see him on the stand, and that's the critical moment. That's what's going to
miss that.
That's what's going to turn this
Speaking
trial.
of which,
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about this.
Oh,
Yeah.
you do. Well, okay.
we can both talk about it.
Well, it's crazy. Have you really explored it?
Yes.
It's really amazing.
I haven't gone